Well, it took them about a year, but they have finally created one of these cool RV kind of patio party setups now for a family. Welcome everybody, Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Coachman, checking out something new. This is the new 246BARV, the follow-up to last year's 242BARV. Basically, from the living room and the kitchen and the bedroom, like those things are exactly the same. So if you're looking at this, you're like, man, it'd be better if it didn't have bunks. That's called the 242. So they make a version without bunks. Just so you know, it's just a full big rear bathroom. This one right here, though, gives you a rear corner mini bunk room slide, effectively, with a direct entry bathroom door across from that, which is an absolutely awesome way to cut so much dirty foot traffic out of your camper, especially in a model like this that might have kids in it. But this thing is an just absolute come and go, free flowing kind of fun situation right here. You've got the dual entry doors. It feels like house party. You got the dual entry doors. You got the party inside, the party outside. You've got instead of a traditional dinette, you have this campsite dining bar with big window overlook and entertainment system above it, plus the outdoor entertainment system along with that. Now this is an Apex Ultra series, not just a Nano, so we're getting things like the a couple other like higher odds and ends. Basically it's a full 8-foot wide instead of narrow body. We've got the heated enclosed belly, now 400 watts of factory standard solar prepped and ready for a 2,000 watt inverter if you're so inclined, and a true queen bed up in a private bedroom instead of the short little princess bed. Now, like any RV, it's got cool things. It's got things you might not like. There's positives, there's negatives, there's everything in between. My goal with you is to help you just kind of understand what this camper is, has, does, or doesn't do and doesn't have, and let you decide if it's the right one for you. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. Let's get in there. I don't usually get an opportunity to do this, but this RV is fully powered up with shore power. Most of the time I'm just operating off batteries. So the air conditioner is currently roaring. Now, dealers have been in and out of this thing all day. The door's been open. The serving taco truck window thing has been open. And it's not like it's the world's hottest scorching day, but I am pretty comfortable in here. If I'm not mistaken, you can get this 50 amp with a second air. This up here is that GE Profile air conditioner. It is centralized. It's not the quietest air conditioner I've ever heard. If I shut up for a second, like, I can hear it. I don't know that it's offensively loud, but I've found that different people have different tolerances when it comes to that. Some people feel that that thing just roars, and some people are perfectly fine with it. Now, very similar, like I said, to the 242BARV. Like, if you watch this video and you're like, man, it'd be better if it didn't have bunks. They make that. They make one without bunks called a 242. This 246, by customer demand, people said, man, I love that, but you got room for my kids. So they made this thing right here. Either way, when you're sitting here in the sofa, we're showing a theater seat today. I believe hide-a-bed sleeper sofa is available if you are so inclined. When you sit down, and especially if you choose to recline, gives you a better view on the inclined TV. Now, straight across from me, you've obviously got this big campside window. There's also a bit of a window in the entry door, as you can see on the left side of the screen peeking in. I've got just the top of the serving truck food window flipped down right now just to kind of help manage a little bit of the glare, to help the footage read through a little bit better. But it does have that kind of pass-through food truck window. And what I'm about to say is absolutely no joke. When I was first walking through this with my Apex rep, I'm not joking, a fella came up to the window and literally ordered a Diet Coke. Like, he thought that we were serving drinks out of this trailer because the bar is decorated. And we had a fridge over here because the fridge is included with this, full of Diet Cokes. So we served the guy Diet Coke, and he asked us where the tip jar was. I don't think he understood that this is just an RV out for display. So it's possible, if you bring some extra libations, that you might be able to put a tip jar out and maybe start running a little bit of a, I don't know, campsite food truck. I looked at our rep, I'm like, is he serious? Did we just seriously become a food truck? He's like, I think we did. Now, this fridge is tricky because it's on a bit of an angle, so it does eat up a chunk of counter space, but there is a lot of counter space here because that's doubling as you're dining. Now, it is a 3-person dining arrangement, if you have a big family, that might not work for everybody. So you're going to want to kind of plan accordingly right there. Your power center, your converter fuse box is kind of down here, so it should be, I'll double check, we'll close the slides in a minute, it should be easy to reach. Pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry, so screws into wood. It does still have a sticker wrap and a particle board fascia, essentially. This is also a conventional 6.5-foot ceiling height, so it's not an extra tall camper like Apex's sister, Freedom Express. Now back here in the bunk space, if I'm eyeballing this correctly, I do believe the bunks can move out the way. And when I said bunks, I kind of was thinking just the top one, but I was like, I wonder, because it looked like that bottom bunk was built on top of a box. I grabbed it. It flips right up on those gas struts. So it's kind of like just a giant open dresser space in a sense. But I think that could work like that. I mean, the way that I pack suitcases, that would be better than the way I pack suitcases. Now this over here, you got a little flip up table for, I don't know, maybe if you let the kids bring an Xbox or something. You do have TV hookups prepped over here in the corner. But bunk rooms almost never have good, especially in an RV with an arrangement like this, they never have good storage for the kids. And I'm not saying this is amazing. What I'm saying is having 4 backpack depth, you can see reasonably sized cavities here. I'm not upset about that. Now, I do want to take a quick second to close these, because if I forget and I close the slide and I smash them, I'm going to be very sad. But one of the other interesting things, it's a positive negative. Positive of having the slide operation button right here is that you can stand here in line of sight the slide to make sure the kids didn't leave any micro machines and Hot Wheels on the floor that are going to get all screwed up and gummed up in there. The downside is the kids can reach the slide button. So you're going to want to have a little chat with Junior and your little princess to tell them to keep their dirty booger pickers off the buttons, basically. And that goes especially for the teens. Space around the toilet, like this bathroom is actually really good. Like way better than I would have necessarily expected. And I had not actually gotten around the corner until just now to check out that corner bunk storage. So I thought that this linen storage in the bathroom is going to be too deep. We're going to circle back to that in a second. First of all, the shower, the headroom in the shower is, my head's all the way up in the skylight. If you're a little bit over 6 foot like me, that'll happen. The entry door is privacy shade prepped, but doesn't actually have the privacy shade. But because you have the bunk room storage to the back, that means that this won't be too deep. So it's actually going to be like just correctly sized for things like towels, soaps, all that kind of stuff. I'm not mad at that. And I feel like, in Looney Tunes, when somebody hides behind the smallest tree, that's what I feel like right now. Now, it is a direct entry bathroom. Remember that you do have a deadbolt lock on that door, so you shouldn't need to worry about somebody coming in and checking you out in your most compromising of positions. Now, Apex has stuck with the 8 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge. They're not rocking the 10s right now. I don't remember if that was a design decision, if that was SKU management, parts ordering management, or if that was just they're trying to save a couple bucks compared to the 10 cubic foot. If you notice, though, they do at least do something with the space down here. And, overall, for no bigger than this kitchen is, they use the space pretty effectively. I like to find dedicated wastebasket spaces in RVs. This one doesn't necessarily have one. However, I'm going to give them a pass on it because they have this countertop extension right here. There we go. There we go. I just put one of those little flip top wastebaskets right under that. And I think that would probably work. It doesn't necessarily have to be built in. That is something that I often look for. That is an air fryer, like RV oven, which is kind of cool. So this actually does have a fully featured, fully equipped kitchen. And now that I'm looking at all this, I realize there's cabinetry behind me we haven't opened yet. Thankfully, They've got their cabinets loaded up with Chips Ahoy and all kinds of other stuff. So we get kind of a cool little like real world reference as to the space that we have in this thing. This cabinet especially is actually deceptively big, but ever try these? I've never tried these things. Ugh, yuck, tastes like plastic. Don't recommend. I also found that inside the bag was nothing but just like chip dust. That's weird. Moving up front here, just like the bathroom door, the front door is prepped for a shade. I don't mind this not having a privacy shade as much as the bathroom, but that's a $40, $50 fix. This is interesting. You can kind of write out a little calendar with a dry erase marker if you want to. Seems like a lot of work, but... Oh yeah, they don't have a, they've gone to this new Alpine speaker system. So instead of building speakers into the RV, come here, how do you slide off of there, slide off of there. Oh my gosh, there we go. I'm not left-handed. It works. I've messed with it 3-4 times before this, just today on camera. This is the time it decides to not be useful. But yeah, portable Bluetooth speaker. I tell you what, dude, that's got, I say dude because I don't know your names individually, that's got some serious heft to it. I don't know how it sounds, but if you put that in a tube sock, you could swing it around your head and clock a gas station murder hobo in the head to kind of defend yourself and your family if need be. Beyond that, though, we do have a sliding privacy door here for the bedroom. Now, up front, it's a small but effective, I think, bedroom. You've got the dual hanging wardrobe towers, a fully enclosed storage above. This is built with the optional 50 amp service, so that could be killed, the vent up there, to add a second air. It's very claustrophobic friendly. It's very side sleeper friendly. And this is a 60 by 80 true queen bed with a little bit of a Legend of Zelda secret. Bed lifts up, and this is where some of these vaulted bed storage systems kind of came from. Technically, Apex's sister, Northern Spirit, I think, yeah, Northern Spirit. It was called like Freedom Spirit, Northern Spirit, just Spirit. Anyway, Coachman Spirit kind of did this, and then Apex as a sister sort of adopted it. So you got double dresser drawers over here. The side that's closest to us that you can't really see has a single drawer with shoe garage below, but that's also got a padded top so that if you want to make it more of a comfy seating area, you can. Oh, hold on. I forgot. I haven't actually shown you up here. I will tell you this from personal experience. You want to put some kind of little bumper or something here. I have gouged my legs up on these things before, so hopefully you don't encounter that right there. Let me get you a little peek up in this area. It is pretty long, not too bad. Hold on. Yeah, it's got that dead pocket in the middle, though. That can sometimes, you can get stuff up there. You can get it, but it's just kind of, you got to reach and it's annoying. This is going to sound like a stupid thing to talk about, not the TV hookups that we're looking at, but I do want to point out that they did remember to put heat venting in the bedroom. I've seen a couple campers that sometimes people forget stuff like that. Spinning our way around the other direction. Oh, before I forget, your bedside stands do have both household and USB outlets. I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to lose the bunks for travel, but keep everything else. And that looks to be pretty accurate right here. Now, from the primary door, we've got the front bed available, the refrigerator, the sink, the dining area. So there's some travel snack-tastic stop capacity here. But because of how tight it gets through here and the slide system variety on the bunks, even though little kids could probably squeeze their way back here, it's not recommended that you try to use and occupy the bunks. Now, from here, I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, that's really tight. Small little kids might be able to squeeze through there, but remember, this RV does have a second direct entry bathroom door. So you can still get to the bathroom if the kid, you know, when you pass that last stop, that kid's like, I got a potty. And you're like, well, you can still do that here. Now, one of the things I like to do when I record campers like this, I go pop on the driver's side front corner and I take a look at like the GVW and the cargo capacity. So I want to do like a serious like thing here. At the time that I am recording this, when they first prototyped this, they use their normal axle setup and everything, but because of the weight and the length of the RV and the 2 slides, it only had about 800 pounds of cargo capacity. I questioned them on this because I feel that is concerningly low for an RV of this size. If this was a 16-foot single axle camper, I wouldn't feel the same, but that's not what this is. This is a 32.5-foot 2 slide family bunkhouse. You're going to load it up. They said, yep, we know. We feel that's maybe a little bit too low. They haven't, like, this prototype basically just got done. So they don't have the hard answer of what they're going to do, whether it's just bump up the axles or what they need to do, but they are aware and said that they will be addressing that. But I would encourage you, before you go spending your money, double check on that real quick before you go pulling the trigger. It's just going to be a measure twice, buy once kind of thing. So pro tip there for you from your Uncle Josh, but it does sound like they're aware and going to be resolving it. Back here, well, up here rather, under the double propane tanks, you see that blue sticker on the frame? That's telling us this is on a Norco chassis, not your traditional Lippert I-beam frame, and some people just prefer that. It's kind of been my experience, RVs on that frame seem to have pretty solid service records. You know, there's always exceptions, but there's a trend there in my observational experience. You can see the solar panel popping up top over the roof. That's one of two. These are now standard 400-watt solar with a 2,000-watt inverter prep. Now, in that front pass-through compartment, the black box that you saw was actually your solar charge controller. Working our way back here, the griddle is just outside the awning space here. I got a bit of a love-hate on this. I think I get it. I get why it's here. I feel it's also maybe a little close to the door, and that's a blistering hot surface right next to the door where maybe the kids are coming through. So you need to kind of keep an eye on that to make sure you have the kids corralled and they're not squirrel bashing into something. I do appreciate the awning space on this, though. That covers both doors very nicely. And of course, it covers like the whole focal area of the campsite, the RV. And this is just fun. Like, again, I would probably still put like a picnic table right here. I don't know if I'd even necessarily use it like a bar. You totally could. But having this here, like having a serving area, a pass-through area, an inside out, an entertainment space. Now, you see the gas struts. Obviously, this window can close. We've already seen how there's the bug screen, the blackout shade. Like, you have all the different potentials and options and opportunities here. But, you know, having a spot out here to, I don't know, have your Bluetooth speaker plugged in or charge your phone or just anything like that. This is fun. This is handy. I like this. I like this a lot. I think I would prefer this over a lot of the quote-unquote camp kitchen arrangements I've seen in the RV modern era, just because a lot of the modern camp kitchens, frankly, basically suck nowadays. There's very few good ones. Ironically, Apex's sister, Freedom Express, I think does some of the best camp kitchens out there still. They're one of the few companies that haven't just nickel and dime the living crap out of them. Man, that is a great awning stretch on this thing. This is probably one of the bigger Apex models as well. That's probably why they got caught a little unprepared. Apex really specializes and traditionally does smaller, lighter stuff, so they don't usually run into a painfully limited cargo capacity. But again, I respect that they were already aware of it and kind of addressing it. If you're new to camping, you're looking at this and going, I don't know about that. If you're an experienced RVer, bunkhouse user, you're probably going, holy cow, the amount of dirt that my kids won't track into the camper because of that is going to be amazing. Also, a crisp high five to somebody in the comment section who can tell me the name of the Coachman dog. Actually does have a name. I've mentioned it on previous videos quite often, actually. Now, this does have a roof that you could walk on, but they don't do, unless there's something hidden that I can't see, any sort of ladder prep or anything like that. You do have an outside hot-cold utility shower. You've got a handy little black tank flush right there. You also have two different slide systems. The bunk slide we're looking at is a Schwintek system. The slide in front of that is a rack and pinion slide system. So keep that in mind. Also, something else I noticed, again, if I see something, I like to say something. This back here looks like our bathroom black and gray outlet, but because of factors, essentially, your kitchen gray outlet is up here. That does mean that this RV has a second gray tank that's totally separate. So if you look at the specs on this, the gray water looks disproportionate. It's because it just, as a result of the nature of the floor plan, ends up with double effectively. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. The underbelly is enclosed and forced air heated. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. What do you think about this? So the first time I really saw, like, there's been versions of camp kitchens, but this, the real RV concept really kind of came out last year. And now I'm seeing, obviously Apex is expanding their use of this, but I've noticed over in the Forest River proper camp, like your Surveyor and RPod kind of groups, they're starting to flirt with concepts like this. Like, I think it's a really fun kind of thing. And I think a lot of people go camping to spend a lot of time outside. So building the function into the outside of the RV without really impacting the inside, I think that's kind of cool, but that's my 2 cents. So I'll leave you some links in the video description to double check pricing and availability on one of these. And whether you're curious or whether you're serious, if you just want to jump to our website to see what one of these might run, it should be right there for you. And if not, contact our team, we'll get you some figures right away, but we try to keep that on our site. So till next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.